Good day, Deep and Word family. Welcome to day 152 of our Bible study review. Today we're going through two chapters, 48 and 49 of the book of Jeremiah, because these two chapters are very long. So we're going to keep it a little bit shorter today, but they are jam-packed. Let's get into it. Chapter 48 opens up with a prophecy of judgment against Moab. All right, so I'm going to read in various parts of the chapter because this is a very long chapter of judgment. And so I'm going to start in verse 2. All right, it says, "There is no more praise for Moab. In Heshbon they have devised evil against her. And the evil against her is Jerusalem." All right, so they said, "Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also, you will be cut down, O madmen." So Yahweh is saying, what you devised for my people is going to happen to you, essentially. So now let's go to verse 6. It says, "Flee, save your lives, and be like the juniper in the wilderness. For because you have trusted in your works and in your treasures, you will also be captured." Let's keep reading. It says, "Hamash will go forth into captivity together with its priests and its officials. The destroyer will come upon every city, and no city will escape. The valley will also perish, and the plain will be destroyed, as Yahweh has spoken. Give wings to Moab, that she may flee and get away, for the cities will become desolate without any to dwell in them." And now let's go over to verse 13. It says, "Moab shall be ashamed of Hamash, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. How do you say, 'We are mighty and strong men of war'? Moab has been devastated and gone up out of her cities, and her chosen young men have also gone down to the slaughter, says the king whose name is Yahweh Sabaoth. The calamity of Moab will come soon, and his affliction hastens fast. All you who are about him mourn for him, and all you who know his name say, 'How the strong staff has been broken, the beautiful rod.'" And now over to verse 25. It says, "The horn of Moab has been cut off, and his arm has been broken, says Yahweh. Make him drunk, for he magnified himself against Yahweh." We have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud. But I'm going to skip over to verse 46 and in the chapter, because although he's pronouncing disaster upon Moab, this is what he says: "Woe to you, O Moab! The people of Hamash have perished, for your sons have been taken away captive, and your daughters into captivity. Yet I will restore the fortunes of Moab in the latter days, says Yahweh." And now chapter 49 opens up, and the judgment is against Ammon. And I want to keep this map up so you can have a visual that goes along with this. And it says right here, "Thus says Yahweh, does Israel have no sons, or he has no heirs? Why then does their king inherit Gad?" So Ammon was conquering territory of Israel that belonged to the tribe of Gad. And he's saying, do they not have their own people? So why do you feel the need to come and conquer the land and be their king? And this is what he says: "Therefore, surely the days are coming, says Yahweh, when I will cause an alarm of war to be heard in Rabbah of the Ammonites." So Rabbah is actually, as you can see, that's their capital. And he's saying this. He says, "I will cause my people to come and be kings over you, since you have done this to my people." Let's continue reading. In the middle of verse 3, it says, "Cry out, O daughters of Rabbah, gird yourselves with sackcloth and lament, and run to and fro inside the walls, for their king shall go into captivity, and his priests and his officials together. Why do you glory in the valleys of your flowing valley, O backsliding daughter who trusts in her treasures, saying, 'Who shall come against me?'" And he says, "I will bring fear upon you, says Yahweh Sabaoth, from all of those who are around you, and each of you will be driven out headlong, and no one will gather together the fugitives. Yet afterwards I will restore the fortunes of the sons of Ammon, says Yahweh." Now I have to scooch over and make way, because the judgment is being pronounced against Edom. Edom is Esau, right? Esau is a twin brother of Jacob. But at this point, they're more like distant cousins, and he's pronouncing judgment against them. And this is how it reads. I'm starting from the middle of verse 7. It says, "Is there no more counsel in Timon?" Right? He says, "Is the wisdom perished from the prudent? Has their wisdom vanished?" Now, one of the punishments of Yah is to make their kings, their leaders, dumb, stupid, We can say the same thing is happening in America right now with who is, our president. As you can see, that's part of the punishment for going against him and trying to remove God out of every corner of your house. He's like, all right, I'll give you stupid counsel. Let's keep reading. He says, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I punish him. If the grape gatherers came to you, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves came by night, they would destroy until they had enough. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places so that he will not be able to hide himself. His seed is devastated, and his brothers and his neighbors, and he is no more. And now I'm skipping down to the middle of verse 16. O you who dwell in the clefts of the rock, who would hold the height of the hill, though you make your nest as high as the eagle, I will bring you down from there, says Yahweh. And then I'm going to skip down to verse 21 and read. The earth has shaken at the noise of their fall. There is an outcry. Its noise has been heard at the Red Sea. He will mount up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings against Basra. And in that day, the hearts of the mighty men of Edom will be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. And I want you to recognize that he does not promise to restore Edom at all. All right. Please check out the article down below in the description box because it gives detail and scriptures of why he's speaking against Edom. We will see later when we read the book of Obadiah, and we will see other parts of scripture where Edom, who is like the brother of Jacob, right? They were helping the king of Babylon destroy their own brothers. And so in return, he says he's not going to restore them at all. So now we're in a different map so that we can read this prophecy that is against Damascus, which is modern day Syria. And this is what it has to say concerning the Babylonian takeover. And it says, they are faint-hearted. There is sorrow on the sea. It cannot be quieted. Damascus has become helpless. She has turned away to flee, and panic has seized her. Anguish and sorrows have seized her as a woman in labor. And so this is so, fascinating to see that way before this took place, Jeremiah is prophesying about their destruction. And not just then, y'all. Right now, Damascus, Syria, it is a war-torn area. It seems like it's always under attack. And I want you to notice as well that he doesn't say he's going to restore this place either. And now we're back to this trusted map because there's two places of judgment that you can see on this map right here. One of them is Hazor or Hazor, and then Kedar, all right? And so he says, concerning Kedar and concerning the kingdoms of Hazor, which Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, defeated. Thus says Yahweh, arise and go up to Kedar and destroy the men of the east. Their tents and their flocks they shall take away. They will carry away their curtains for themselves and all of their vessels and all of their camels, and they will call out to one another. Terror on each side. He says, flee, go far away, dwell in the depths, O inhabitants of Hazor, says Yahweh. For Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, has taken counsel against you and has conceived a purpose against you. Hazor will become a dwelling place for jackals and a desolation forever. No man will abide there, nor any son of man will dwell in it. And the very last place of judgment that Jeremiah is speaking against is Elam, and that is the Persians, all right? If you want to know the modern day country, it is Iran or Iran, right? And Babylon is modern day Iraq, okay? So just so that you know modern day terms. And it says, the word of Yahweh, which came to Jeremiah the prophet against Elam in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. So Zedekiah was the last king of Judah before Nebuchadnezzar came and, crashed it all down. And so this is during that time period. And he says, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might. Upon Elam, I will bring the four winds from the four corners of heaven, and I will scatter them towards all of those winds. And there will be no nation where the outcasts of Elam will not go, for I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies. And so we know through history, if you've ever read the book of Daniel, it is Babylon first, the Persians and the Medes, right? So that's Elam, and you can see the Medes right above them. And then came Greece, right? It was Alexander the Great who came and conquered Elam, okay? And so he says right here in verse 39, but it will come to pass in the latter days that I will restore the fortunes of Elam, says Yahweh. And if you read, through the New Testament scriptures, you will see that there are those who came from this area who actually heard the gospel. And so please check out the article that I have in the description box below, again, because it ties up every loose end so you can understand throughout history who the people are that he's talking about, and the fortunes who he will restore, and those who he will allow to remain a desolation. Y'all gonna learn up in here. Yes, I'll take you to history class. Child, I'll take you to church. I'll take you everywhere you need to go to understand the fullness of his word. I hope that you enjoyed today's reading and you learned a little something here. Deep in Word family, that's all that I have for you today. Until tomorrow, Yah bless.